Those of you that know me well or follow me here on social media probably have a pretty good understanding that I love new stuff. I'm all over the new technologies. When something brand new comes out, I want to get my hands on it. I want to embrace it because usually it's making my life or my experiences just a little bit better. I mean, if you're not getting better on an everyday basis, what exactly are you doing? That being said, I often reminisce about a more simplistic time of life, specifically the 1980s and 90s, and the way that we used to do things, sometimes makes me nostalgic. Let me begin with the overhead projector. Are these even still around anymore? Do you know what I'm talking about? Here's a picture of one just in case you're not familiar. It's crazy because when I was going through school, I hated these things. They were so much associated with being in the middle of a lecture, usually math, where the teacher was writing down an equation or just teaching something that was very hard to grasp, at least for me. And so it's a light-based projection system, throws the light through transparency paper, which is then redirected towards, a screen or something on the wall so a whole classroom can see what one person easily is writing, almost like on a piece of paper. But I don't think they even have these / use these or maybe even make these anymore. I'm not sure, but overhead projectors, crazy enough, are something I reminisce about. How about the first time you ever burnt your own CD? Now, this was a huge transition going from the mixtapes of cassette to cassette or recording something off the radio onto a cassette tape. Now, you could take any combination of songs you wanted and put them on one disc and then pop that disc in your car and play only all the tunes you wanted. I'll never forget when those things got to 100% complete and the disc would pop out of the drive and you'd take it out and look at it like you had just made some mankind discovery, some big thing in evolution. And it was pretty cool at the time, but you'd pop that disc in and hope that it would work. Most times it did, sometimes it didn't, but it was just such a cool thing to be able to mass produce your own music, which of course you already owned and didn't download from somewhere, right? I reminisce about MoviePhone. Yeah, that's right. The service where you used to call MoviePhone and figure out what movies were playing at your local complex. I mean, I guess the other way to do it was via the newspaper, but sometimes that wasn't always reliable. The latest information was easy to get. You'd pick up the phone, you'd dial MoviePhone, and the guy would say, "Thank you for calling MoviePhone." Well, something like that. And then you would type in your area code, it would give you a list of movie complexes. You type in yours, it would tell you all the movies that were playing. So that's pretty primitive. I know nobody uses it anymore. In fact, everybody can even buy their own tickets straight from a mobile device nowadays. So maybe I need to listen to myself on this one. It's an improvement on life. So let's not be angry at this one. Maybe let this one go. Speaking of phone calls you used to make, how about the time where most clocks you owned didn't automatically set themselves, and when you wanted to figure out what precise time it was, you would call popcorn. That's right, spell out popcorn on your phone if you even know what I'm talking about with the alphanumerics. In fact, I forgot here. 7672676. There it is, 7672676. That was popcorn. And it would answer the phone automatically and tell you the Pacific Standard Time would be 3:35 and 30 seconds at the tone. Beep. Right? Some of you remember that. Anyways, again, I guess what I'm learning here is it's an improvement on life that most of the clocks you have, including on your wrist and on your computer and your car, maybe by your nightstand, they all automatically adjust themselves these days, and they all sync up. Okay, maybe that's also for the best. All right, how about getting nostalgic about the TV Guide channel? Yeah, before there was an actual program guide through your cable box or however you watch media on your television, it wasn't listed graphically like it obviously is in this day and age. I mean, there weren't even DVRs yet, but in terms of what was on every channel by channel, you would actually tune to a channel where it had all the listings in guide format that just scrolled up the screen. And you would wait there as it would cycle through all the channels, and as they evolved over the years, certainly a lot more were on this list, and you would figure out what time it is now and what was coming up later, and you'd find something you want to watch based on the TV Guide channel. Imagine that today here in 2018. Something else I get nostalgic about were big-time blockbuster movies. And maybe it was just me being a kid, but like Jurassic Park or Titanic or Independence Day, when that first came out, those were such big hits. You might even go see it 2 or 3 times while it was still in theaters. I just feel like here in 2016, 17, 18, 19, that they don't make those ginormous blockbusters anymore. They don't have movies that big that create that much buzz that like everybody's talking about it. And so I guess I miss the day of when movies were huge, when blockbusters came out and everybody would talk about it. I guess I understand in this day and age, the content is much more diversified and you might enjoy things like Game of Thrones on HBO or a Netflix series. And so you're not watching as many big time movies and they're not being spent on as much to come out in dramatic fashion, like let's say over the summer. But I just kind of miss the days when everybody would be talking about one specific thing that you'd have to go to the movies and actually see. And last but not least, I mean, consider how much different we do things now. But do you remember when you would take a photo on film, have it developed, and then go pick it up a couple days later just to see all the photos at once? And by all the photos, I mean, was it like 24 or 36 on a roll of photos? I mean, I, on a given day, take probably that many with my phone. I can see them instantly, I can share them instantly, but imagine going back to the days of having to wait several days to look at your photos and even make sure they came out how you wanted them to. But there was just something so authentic about opening up that paper sleeve and pulling out your 24, 48 photos. Sometimes you could get duplicates, by the way, and going through them one by one and saying, remember that, because at that point, it was days ago, not seconds ago that this just happened. And yes, people took a lot less photos, and yes, I do appreciate the volume of today's photographer, especially with their iPhone, because you can remember so many things better, and convenience is there, and so many more life moments are captured with an iPhone. But just go back to the days of when every picture was special, every picture was cherished, and even if it was out of focus or the colors weren't right or the flash was too bright, that photo, that one photo of the entire moment that you had was all you had. And it might have sparked up more imagination and creativity with the brain instead of 20 photos of something that happened 5 minutes ago. Anyways, long story short here as I wrap it up, I guess I'm nostalgic about some things that don't make sense anymore. But that doesn't stop me from being at least nostalgic about the old way, even though I very much do appreciate all the new ways. Let me know what you think about this in the comments section below.